Hello there, you amazing people. So in this video, we will be learning that what is cell referencing and different types of cell referencing, which are absolute and relative. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first of all, let us understand that what is the idea behind cell referencing. So if I want to reference this cell, so this cell is going to be H6. Why? Because it lies inside the H column on the sixth row. If I have to reference this particular cell, then it is going to be C11. Why? Because it lies in the Cth column and the 11th row. And also, if you want to check the cell reference of this particular cell, then you can see the upper left portion where the cell reference of that cell is given. So that is the basic idea of cell referencing. Now let us understand what is relative cell referencing. Earlier we calculated this total column, the value inside this cell, by using something that is known as formula, basic Excel formula. First type the is equal to sign, and then we typed the cell references of all those blocks which we wanted to add inside our total. So we wanted to add B3, B4, B5, B6, B7 and B8. So we wanted to add B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, B8 in order to get the total for the January month, for the month of January. Basically, in order to get this column, in order to get this value, we first type the is equal to sign in order to access our Excel formulas, and then since we wanted to add these values, the value here, 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 so we wrote here B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7 plus B8. So what actually is happening behind the scenes is that we are using the concept of relative cell referencing. So what we are trying to say our Excel is doing is that it is adding the value present inside the block which is one step away, two step away from this particular column, three step away, four step away, five step away, and then six step away. So it is adding the relative value, it is adding the values of those cells which are lying at a distance which is relative to this cell, relative to this cell by a particular distance that we have given. Since we have already specified that we want to add this block, then this block, then this block, then this block, then this block, and this block, therefore what our Excel is doing is that it is adding the value of this block which is about 1 2 3 4 5 6 steps away from it, six steps away from it, cell which is 6 steps away, then the value inside this cell which is about value of cell that is 5 steps away, and so on. So this is what is happening behind the scene. This is what is known as relative cell referencing. Okay, now let us try to check whether this thing is same. I'm going to delete this value, and basically all the columns here. Okay, so here you can see that this is cell B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7 plus B8. Now we want to implement the concept of cell referencing, the concept of relative cell referencing in this cell. So what we want to do is that we also want to here add column C3, C4, C5, C6, C7 and C8 in order to get the total for the month of Feb. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this thing by pressing Ctrl C, Ctrl plus C, and then Ctrl plus V on this cell in order to paste it. So here you can see that I'm getting 4000, and if I double click it, we can see that I'm getting C3 plus C4 plus C5 plus C6 plus C7 plus C8. So what is happening is that it copied the relative references, it copied the relative reference formula from this particular column, from this particular cell, and pasted it here. So again, what is happening behind the scene is that this cell is totaling the values by getting the value of the cells which are 6 steps away, 5 steps away, 4 step away, 3 step away, 2 step away, and 1 step away. Now again, If I copy this and paste it here, this time I'm getting 50-50. Again, I am using relative cell referencing and I am adding those cells which are 6 step away, 5 step away, 4 step away, 3 step away, 2 step away, and 1 step away. So again, in order to get this, in order to get the value here, I am adding this cell which is 6 steps away, from here 5 steps away, 4 step away, 3 step away, 2 step away, and 1 step away, and I am adding all these values here. So this is the concept of relative cell referencing. Now let us understand what is absolute cell referencing. First of all, let me copy these down till here. Alright. Now in order to calculate the percentage, here I'm going to calculate the percentage in decimal. So I'm going to calculate my percentage in decimal for this particular column, for all these columns. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write here, because this cell is E3, so I'm going to write here E3. I'm going to write a formula. So first of all, I have to type the is equal to sign. Then I'm going to write here E3, that is this column. Then I'm going to divide it by the totaling here. So I have E3 divided by E9. If I press enter, I'm going to get 0.23166. Alright. Now if I copy the relative cell reference formula from here by pressing Ctrl C and then pasting it here, Ctrl V, I'm getting this error. So what actually happening is that in order to get the percentage, I used the value here, which was 1 to 1, and I'm again going to do this. Alright. Okay. So what actually happening is that in order to calculate this, I wrote E4 divided by, so I was using E4 divided by E9. So these were relative cell references. So what I was doing is that I was dividing this cell by a cell that is here, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps down. Then I applied the formula here. So what was happening is that in order to do this, what my Excel did was that it wrote here this E5 divided by 6 steps down this value, which is empty. So when we divide any number by empty, that is null, that is 0, we get a division error. So this is what has happened in here. It is, instead of E9, I'm using E10. Why? Because I'm going 6 steps down by using the concept of relative cell referencing. But I don't want this thing to happen. So now what I'm going to use is that I'm going to be using the concept of absolute cell referencing. So here I'm going to fix this. I'm going to specify that my column is going to change. My column can be this column. My numerator can be E3, E4, E5, E6 for these particular cells. It can be anything. It can be, for this, it can be E4. But this is going to be only this cell, that is E9. So I am going to lock it. I am going to make sure that this cell is not going to change. So by doing this, by using the $sign, I have blocked the cell. I'm going to specify that I'm going to make sure that this column can change for every by using the concept of relative referencing, but this is not going to change. Copy paste this cell by using Ctrl C here. Here you can see that this cell has changed. Here it was E4, here it was E4, here it was E4, and then I have locked this. This is always going to be E9. This value is going to be locked. Now what is happening is that I am using E5 divided by E9. Why E9? Why E9 is not going to be changed to E10? Because I have locked the value by using the dollar sign, and the concept is known as absolute cell referencing. Again, if I copy this and paste it here, Control V, Control V, Control V, or simply dragging and this here, you can see that this is going to be E3, sorry, this is going to be E3, and then I have to copy this here. I used the formula wrongly. Just make a minor change. This is going to be E3 because this is row number E3. I thought that this was E4. I'm sorry. So now copy it down, and you can see that this is going to be E4 divided by this cell. This is going to be E5 divided by this cell. This is going to be E6 divided by E9. This is going to be E7 divided by E9. This is going to be E8 divided by E9, and this is going to be E9 divided by E9. So this is the concept of absolute cell referencing. Here we are blocking a particular block or cell. So that was all for today, guys. In the next video we'll be learning that what are functions, and we'll be implementing some very common Excel functions like add, min, max, and count. So we will meet in our next video. Until then, bye bye.